r/AskReddit. What is the biggest men/women double standard? I graduated college last June. The last couple of months took a toll and my wonderful wife stayed home with 2 kids and did everything around the house. When I graduated, everyone told me how it must have been tough on me the last 2 months. My wife just finished her last exam last Thursday and I've been taking care of the kids and the house for the last 2 months. After her exam, everyone kept talking about how hard it must have been on me. Some double standards favor one gender over the other. But this is one of those magical stereotypes that manages to be peenish to both. Apparently women should be able to effortless care for children or else they are a disgrace. And men are ducking incompetent, and it's a shock if they can look after a cactus, let alone a child. Oh duck. My cactus. Women are automatically trusted around strangers' children. Men are automatically distrusted around strangers' children. Jesus Christ, is this true? I dated a woman with a son for a few years. They practically lived with me. So I took a lot of child rearing duties, which often included me and the boy out in public alone. I was stopped by moms, store employees, and even cops for Christ's sake. I was almost arrested once at a park because I couldn't prove he was supposed to be with me. That's a double standard that hits close to home. How are you supposed to prove the child is with you? Carry a birth certificate around at all times? All the different ways people look at Excel violence based on gender. Edit. Thank you for all your responses and food for thought. Will answer in the next days as I'm not home currently and incredibly busy. After reading all the inbox messages, I just want to add that number min 2 would probably make a bigger impact than number min 2 did. I was listening to the radio in the car, and a very serious ad about Excel violence started playing. The ad said, "When you think of Excel violence, you probably imagine a young woman being harassed by a stranger." I thought to myself that this ad will probably mention that Excel violence happens to men too, and try to raise awareness about it. The ad then went to say that it also happens to women in their homes by friends, family and significant others. I'm not saying that was a bad ad. Those are very real issues. However, I never seen or heard a ad targeted at male victims, and that made a little sad. Wasn't there a guy who killed himself because of all the hate he was getting over starting the only abuse shelter for men? That girls kissing at a party is totally straight and hot. Well, one time I suck my homie's peen and him considered gay. Go down on a girl. It's gay. You're getting all the peen she's had. Suck off your homie. That ain't gay. You're getting all that pussy he's been in. Stay at home dad taking care of our 2 children. 1 newborn and a 3-year-old. Apparently, if I was a woman I'd be a hero. Instead I'm a deadbeat who mooches off of my wife. Being a mom is the hardest job in the world. Unless a man does it. Not really a double standard, but I wish men had as many fashion options as women did. I'd prefer if jackets and ties were optional, rather than virtually required even in summer for business. But the ability to make do with a working wardrobe of 4 suits, each with an extra trouser and about a dozen shirts, is a pretty sweet deal for men. As someone in a subtropical climate, the lack of summer-friendly business attire is depressing. Ex and violence. Women that have lots of ex are sluts and men that hit women are pieces of hit. But a guy having lots of ex is no big deal, and a girl slapping her boyfriend makes you think he ducked up. Why can't women have lots of ex? Because they enjoy it like men. And why do we more readily accept a woman hitting a man? This is the current social stance. Man hits woman, he's an abusive asshole who should rot in prison. No questions asked. Woman hits man, good for her. She's empowered. It's unmanly for a man to enjoy fruity drinks and cocktails. I order them anyway. Duck haters. I like mojitos. If they are good enough for some Max, they are good enough for me. Social acceptance of masturbation toys. When a woman gets a vibrator, it's seen as a bit of naughty fun. But when a guy orders a 240V Duck Master Pro 5000 blow-up latex doll with 6-speed pulsating pussy, elasticized anus with non-drip semen collection tray, together with optional built-in realistic orgasm scream 7.1 surround system, he's called a pervert. Was looking for this comment. Men have to register for the draft, but women do not have to register for anything equivalent. Be it civil service or something else. Feminists in the 80s actually tried to change that, so that women were included as well. But it was rejected back then, because they didn't even really want women in the army. Nor did they ever want to seriously fund any kind of peaceful civil service. That's one of the major policy tragedies of our lifetimes. Guys often ask if I'm just in college to find a husband and Mrs. degree. Nobody would ever ask a guy if he went to college to find a wife. I met my fiance while getting my PhD, and I still get that joke. So you actually got your Mrs. degree? And I just say yes. I did 6 extra years of school just for that. See, I'm a current grad school candidate, and I'm getting the opposite from relatives. When I tell them about the program I'm trying to get into, it's, well, that's nice and all, sweetie, but when are you going to find time to settle down and start a family? I'm 22 years old and my program is 15 months long. Time is still on my side. I'm surprised no one has brought up sterilization. Men are typically more accepted for vasectomies and can even get them done in their 20s. Many women have extreme amounts of trouble even getting their tubes tied. Some women require hysterectomies to fix something, like endometriosis, and doctors will straight up refuse to perform the operation because of fertility reasons, despite it being the best and only option. Edit, to the people saying that it's impossible to get a vasectomy before 35. There are many doctors who will do it, but they require some looking around to find. Also, I get that it's less invasive in female sterilization. But my point still stands. Many women do seek sterilization and have to go through hurdle after hurdle, even after having kids, to get it done. Yet this is happening to me right now. I'm actually having severe uterine lining issues, but because I'm single and 31 and haven't had kids yet, they won't do anything to permanently fix me, because that would mean my uterus would no longer work. And somehow that is unacceptable. When I mention that it's clearly already not working, and that I've known since I was 11 I never wanted kids, and have many other personal reasons for not wanting them, money, mental health, other family issues etc, they just hedge and treat me like a dolt who doesn't know what I really want in life. Even got it from a so-called progressive female, you know. Really freaking annoying, and absolutely no consideration for my physical or mental health. My mom had the same issue. She had a benign tumor in her cervix when I was really little. But ever since it was removed her periods were just ducking obnoxious. Twice a month. Having to stop work and go to the bathroom because she bled through a tampon and 2 pads in less than 2 hours, kind of obnoxious. By the time I was 10 she was begging her gyno to let her get a partial hysterectomy. But what if your new husband wants kids? Itch. That new husband had already been around for 7 years. My mom ultimately didn't get approved for the procedure until I was 18. Meaning she injured 8 more years of that awful twice monthly cycle. The real kicker is, the gyno didn't want to approve her when she did because she still felt like my mom was too young at 43 with 2 grown children. Still pisses me off to no end. Sexual assault. Now, thankfully, women are starting to be taken seriously when they're assaulted. When a man is sexually assaulted by a woman people react like, but men always want that, and laugh. Every time I've brought up men can be aped too. This is the reply I get. This or as long as she's hot. So you're saying, if a woman is aped and the guy is hot then it's okay? Ridiculous. I'm equally frustrated by it. I had an issue like that. The guys always responded the same. I heard she's a freak in bed. Is that right? IDK man. I wasn't conscious at the time. But sure. Lucky me. If a man has a small peen it's just a big ducking joke. If a woman has a small peen she's exotic and exy. Holla up. If a woman enjoys X with men, that is fine. If I enjoy having X with men, I'm all of a sudden gay. Beware the sudden gay. He comes at you from inside the closet. Yes. Yes, I'm aware that can be read 2 ways. Women are allowed to be sensitive and cry. Men aren't. Unless they want to be seen as weak. I would say women are also seen as weak for crying. We just expect women to be weak. So it's okay. A man does it and it's weird. Maybe we could start seeing crying as a perfectly normal reaction for emotionally complete people. It'd be wonderful. Women also get the emotional card thrown at them for careers where it's seen as a negative though. The military leadership positions. It's a negative connotation that implies women should try to act completely rationally at all times, like Juzio, or exist as a trembling jello mass incapable of independent thought. There is no easy in between. I've worked into industries that are largely dominated by women: customer service and pharmacy, both in staff and leadership. They were both around 60-70% female. Nearly all of the sexism that exists in the modern workplace gets co-opted by women. Women interrupt the men in my meetings. Men who are assertive are seen as being beans, while women are treated better. I've been told by female supervisors to smile. I think 90% of sexism isn't sexism. It's whoever happens to be in powerism. As women gain in power, they're going to do the exact same thing that they criticize men for doing now. I worked in the medical field for many years, mostly with RNs in charge or my supervisor. I can attest this is 100% true. Plenty of them calling me cute, flirting, slapping my ass in surgery, or otherwise acting in ways that would get men called a pig happens all the time. Guy here. Work in mental health. There's one other guy I work with on a team of 25-30. I've overheard managers saying that they need to make a girls club of the supervisor team only. I was turned down for that job 6 months ago. As a woman, why do my nipples have to stare deep? Dark secret, but men can walk around shirtless all day. Why are boobs so offensive? I go to a Lutheran college, and it was so taboo to some of my classmates that I don't wear a bra. I have the smallest boobs ever. Why would I want to waste my money on being uncomfortable all day? I had a coworker at a warehouse temp job who was told she had to wear a bra at work, and was actually sent home to get one. She also had small boobs and wore a t-shirt and a sweatshirt. I think the employer should have been more concerned about whoever was watching her so closely that he/she noticed the woman was not wearing a bra. Runk women are unable to consent to X. Judgment impaired. Not responsible for their actions. Runk men are totally responsible for their X decisions. Their impaired judgment is no excuse. In another thread on this sub, a guy mentioned that he once got way too runk at a party. Was put in a room with a bunch of other runk people, and there was a girl who had a crush on him. In her runken state, she undid his pants and had X with him. He was half there, and while realized it was wrong. His thought process was that pussy though. The girl later apologized and seemed to regret it. Now, I'd expect people to understand that it was out of both of their hands. Both were too runk to be held accountable. But no. Half the comments there were she aped you, and she just played regret to get you to not call the cops. I do not understand it. If you're runk and murder someone, you will be convicted of murder. The runkenness is sometimes taken into account when sentencing, but the judge will point out that you chose to get runk and put yourself in the position where you could not prevent yourself committing the murder. Hence you still hold responsibility for your actions. If you're runk and have X, that in itself is not a crime. You've put yourself in a position where you can't consent. But you didn't put yourself in the position where you might commit a crime. If you're runk and ape someone, you are still responsible for your actions. You put yourself in that position, and someone else was hurt because of your choice. If both parties are runk and have X, courts can and will convict if there is convincing evidence that one party is the victim and the other the attacker. If the guy in that story is so runk that it happened to him without his involvement being needed, and the girl took his pants down etc., then yes, it's probably ape. In that story, he wasn't an active participant in the act, and that is what swings it from being two runk people having X to she aped the guy whilst he was runk. Hopefully this helps to understand it a bit better. On shows like The Talk, if the guest is a muscular dude, their physique will inevitably come up, and they end up getting ogled and felt up by the female hosts. I guarantee that switching the genders would result in the social suicide of every guy on the stage, followed by getting sued to hell and back. I saw this happen once on a British TV show called Loose Women, a bit like a British version of The Talk, and they happened to have a muscular guy on as a guest. They showed a picture of him on the screen of him shirtless, all muscular and what have you. And every woman in the audience wow. Ed and Wolf whistled. If it had been an all-male TV show with the audience wolf whistling at a female guest, there would be campaigns to get it cancelled because of it being exist. Addendum, one of the presenters also went for 2. Further adding to my point, Loose Women is a steaming pile of rubbish anyway. I say that as a Brit, as a woman, and as someone who enjoys hit telly / ducking like and subscribe.